Welcome back, guys. Super excited for this episode. If you clicked on this link, it's probably because you're either new to real estate, you've been in here a while and you're not closing as many deals. So you're curious, what skills do I need to develop in order to really blow up my business? I've been in sales for 15 years. I've sold all over the nation, probably been in about 10,000 homes. And I'm telling you, there's certain skills you need and certain skills you don't need. So this episode, we're gonna go over all of that. Grab your notes, grab a pen. I brought all my books. We're gonna talk about the top books that I'd recommend, the ones I wouldn't read, the ones I would read. You're definitely gonna wanna take a ton of notes today. Before we hop into that though, just to go over, this month, we just finished Pitch Anything. Whether you're watching this when it first comes out or in a couple months, couple years, this was the book that we read in September. Phenomenal book on sales. It talked about how in sales, you have the consumer that's interpreting all the information. Then you have the salesperson that's communicating and presenting the information. What happens a lot of the times is that is off. What the salesperson is saying and what the consumer is hearing and understanding, they're not aligned. And so this book taught us how to do that, how to formulate a pitch or some type of structure in what we say when we prospect so that they can understand it, so that we can get the message across and help them accomplish what they want. Phenomenal book. If you're following along, this next quarter, we're going to shift into mindset. Most real estate agents this last quarter, they dip and they check out and they're just non-existent. They go on vacations, they're with family, which isn't a bad thing, but you're going to see a lot of realtors disappear. So if you can sharpen your skill set and stay focused and be disciplined and consistent, then you'll get so much market share, you'll blow up your business. So this last quarter, we're going to focus on mindset. The book that we're going to read in September is called The 5-Second Rule. This book is incredible. I've dealt with anxiety, depression, anxiousness. I've dealt with realtors, salespeople that deal with the same thing. And this is the secret sauce to overcoming that anxiety so you can be consistent and show up and close a lot of deals. So if you're watching this video or you watch this in the future, this is a phenomenal book on mindset. Really, really good person to follow, Mel Robbins. I love her stuff. Cool. So for those that have followed my channel for a long time, you know that I want this to be a classroom environment. And look what we're doing. There's not a better way that we can make this more of a classroom environment than this type of setup. So today we're going to talk about sales skills. And I'm going to use a diagram. I'm going to go Alex Hormozy here and use stick figures to help you understand what sales skills you need to develop in real estate in order to close a lot of people. You're probably thinking, if this is the first video you've watched, who is this guy? What authority does he have on this subject? I've been in sales for 15 years. I went all over the nation. I was in the top 1% in the alarm industry, selling over 300 accounts a year, switched over to real estate. And most realtors, you know, because you watch this channel, only sell 1 or 2 their first year. I sold 75 my first year, and I've done about 30 million in volume since then, every single year, because I know these sales skills. These are the skills that you're going to want to learn and master. So let's jump into this. If you're a real estate agent and you're going door to door as your main prospecting method, or you're cold calling, however you're interacting with people face to face, most of the time, if I ask you what sales skills you need to develop, most of the time, people are going to focus on actual skills that you want to develop in order to go at a high level. So if I were to ask you right now and take 15, 20 seconds, what skills would you need? And just write them down. Grab your notepad, write down what 15 skills would I need in order to do really, really well. When I do this activity with people, most of the time, they're going to go over here and they're going to go on the skill side. So they're going to say, I need to learn how to listen. I need to persuade. I need to be a good communicator. I need to transition really well. I need to be able to option close. Okay? Most people are going to dump a lot of money into this side of the equation. I've done this for a long time. The issue with salespeople is this side of the equation. They never even go to the door. They never even pick up the phone. They never even get in front of prospects. So these skills won't do you any good. So from what I've seen with all the people that I have coached and mentored in real estate and in sales, is this is 20% of the equation. You need to have these skills, and we'll talk about those today. You need to learn how to listen, how to persuade, how to communicate, how to option close 100%. Brian Tracy, Grant Cardone, all those trainers, you want to learn their content. But 80% of the learning curve is going to be on this side. So that's what we're going to focus on. So on this side, what skills do you need to learn in order to do really well? You need to learn how to focus. Usually in sales, whoever can focus the best is going to win, is going to get in front of more people. You need to learn how to be consistent. You need to learn how to put yourself in a peak state every single day when you go prospect. So just like athletes, how do I put myself in a mental state that's at the highest level possible every single day so I can go and present in front of a lot of people? On top of that, I also need to learn how to take care of my mental health. How do I make sure that me, my greatest asset, is taken care of so that I can be my best self in front of people? And we're going to talk about that today. And the last one is discipline. Don't judge me on not being able to write that. It's going to be discipline, okay? Most people can't be disciplined. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to have a routine that creates consistency, that creates focus, that puts them in a peak state. I always tell people when I train them in sales, in real estate, that this is a game just like athletes play. The stadium's just different. So go learn how athletes do this, because most of them, if you watch the Olympics recently, they talked about how most of the time it's the mental side of things. How quick can they bounce back after a bad performance? If you can do that and you have the skills, you'll be able to show up and close more people. So let's dive into this. Okay, so let's talk about how to focus and develop this side of the equation. If you've read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he talks about how you won't rise to the level of your goals. You'll actually fall to the standard and level of your systems. So really, this is the secret. If you can figure this out, you'll do really well in real estate, you'll close a lot of deals, or no matter the sales industry, you'll be able to do a lot of business. So how do we do that? One is going to be education. You're irresponsible in today's age not to succeed with the amount of information that we have available. You can go to seminars, you can get coaches, you can buy books. When I first got into sales and I learned this principle, I went and spent almost all the money I had at Barnes & Noble and bought as many books as I could on the subject, so I could speed through that learning curve. In real estate, the issue is most realtors don't make it long enough. 85% are done and out of the industry in their first 2 years. Those that remain are gone after 5 years. And so what happens is the learning curve takes them too long, and then all of a sudden they're out of the industry. So you can fix that by increasing the speed right here, increasing your access to information, getting the coaches, buying the books, going to seminars, and you can speed that up and you can beat that 2-year mark. But most of the time, a lot of realtors or those that are going to watch this, you that's watching this, you're not doing that. So we need to fix that. So if we go back here, number one is going to be education. Just go consume. There's so many good books on discipline, mental health, being in a peak state, consistency, focus. The second thing I would recommend is choose who you watch and listen to. Industry giants in discipline, mental health is going to be any Olympic athlete. Go watch Olympic athletes, follow them on your Instagram, watch them on YouTube. Other people are going to be Tony Robbins. Go consume his information, his podcasts, his YouTube videos, his seminars. Go look up Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence. Go look up David Goggins. There's so many people that will teach you how to develop these skills, develop those systems so that you can be consistent, that you can focus more often, so that you can close more deals. My third suggestion is going to be fix your environment. Most of you are around people, you're watching or you're not consuming the information that will help you stay focused and take care of your mental health. So fix your environment. Simply change who you hang out with. Change who you're around, the people that you associate with, the information that you listen to. Change that environment. You can literally just change the success that you want to have by putting yourself in a different room. Now, before we transition to the other part of the equation, the 20%, this part you'll only understand when you go and practice. So for example, in real estate, you need to go put yourself in environments that are hard so that you fail, so that you have to go read the books, you have to go implement something new, and you have to figure out, hey, am I learning said subject? So we always tell people, go talk to 250 people a week. Go do that. After a week, you're gonna know, did I do that? Was I consistent? Did I show up and do what I said I was going to do? If I didn't, then the question becomes, why? This is where a lot of people fail, is they're not authentic enough with themselves to ask, why? What happened? Why was I not consistent? The goal was there. I wanted to win. I wanted to close a lot of real estate. I wanted to go knock. I wanted to prospect. But why did I not? The more authentic you can be right here and honest with yourself, then you can do the second part, which is always going to be the solution. Then you can find the solution. Then you can go read the books. Then you can go to the seminars. Then you go to YouTube. Then you can look for solutions on how to fix that. But this doesn't happen unless you're doing that. Unless you're actually out prospecting, unless you're out of the office, putting yourself in front of people, you're never going to know what your demons are. You'll never be confronted with them, and then you won't have a solution. If you do this, and just like David Goggins says, if you stand in front of the mirror, the accountability mirror, and you ask yourself, like, why did I not do this? Why did I do it? The better you understand yourself. If you do have a solution, then now we can go back here and we can say, cool, I just developed discipline. I just developed focus and consistency. And now I'm starting to string this together. Now I went out this week and I talked to 250 people. Now I did it again and again. And if I failed, then you go right back to this process and you ask yourself, why did I miss this week, but I went 4 weeks in a row? What's my solution? Once you have that entire process figured out, now we can talk about the exact skills that you need in order to close more people. Okay, last thing before we transition. And again, I almost don't want to go to the other side of the equation because I'm telling you, this side right here, this is the gold. If you can really focus and learn how to master these principles while learning these in the background, this is what will make you money in real estate. So again, I almost don't want to transition, but the last thing I'll say on this, I had a mentor once, Jeff Mendez, still is my mentor. He taught me that I shouldn't manage my emotions because in sales and real estate, the only guarantee is that every single day your emotions are like this, right? Some days you're going to want to do it. Some days you won't. You make a lot of money some days. You'll make not a lot of money the other days. And there's a lot of days like this, but you'll go like this. So instead of focusing on your emotions, learn to manage your systems, right? Just like I talked about with James Clear, every athlete that stands on that 100-meter line in the Olympics, their goal is the same. They want to win. No one shows up to get second place. All the realtors that show up and get their license, they want to make a lot of money. They want financial freedom. The goal is the same, but not everybody does it. Why? Because their systems are better. So again, learn to manage your systems. Learn to get really good at discipline. Learn to get really good at taking care of your mental health. Develop systems to keep you in a peak state. Be consistent and learn how to be focused. If you can do that, now we can focus on the 20% skills, because you do need these. If you knock 10 doors and I knock 10 doors and you're not skilled, you'll probably close 1 or 2. If I'm skilled, which I am, I'll close 8 or 9. The only difference is not work ethic, it's skill set. So once you can get out there, now you need this part. So let's dive into it. Now let's try out the other side of the equation. If you're a salesperson and you're going door to door as your main form of prospecting, let's say you have now figured out the 80%. You have this on lock. Now when you talk to that homeowner, what skills do you need in order to close a high volume. The benefit of going door to door is now you have body language. When you cold call, when you're on social media, when you're doing flyers, however else you're prospecting, you're not going to have body language. When you're going door to door, you now have to learn how to control your body, use your hands, your facial expressions, and your tonality in order to close a lot of people. That is the number one skill I'd recommend to go read, go to seminars, watch YouTube videos, learn how to master. The second one is learn to communicate. And a lot of that is going to come from because you're right in front of the homeowner at their home on their doorstep. And with your body language and tonality, you need to be really good at presenting. You need to be really good at presenting ideas in the future, ideas in the present tense, and why they should change their opinions on the real estate market. So learn body language, learn how to communicate. The third one that I would highly, highly recommend that you all go learn how to master is going to be the ability to know personality types. When I knock on that door, you're going to have a driver, which is the military type personality, which is short, quick, to the point. You're going to have the bubbly, chatty Cathys that just want to waste your entire day and talk about everything. You're going to have the gossipers that will tell you everything about the neighborhood. And then you're going to have like the teddy bears that really just want to have a conversation with you. So regardless of who answers that door, you need to be able to automatically change your pitch to the personality that's on the other side of the door. The beauty of door to door is as I'm walking up to the house, as I'm walking up to their home, I can look for certain things like the type of car that they have. I can look for decor. I can look for their garden. I can look at the shirt or clothes that they wear. There's a lot of little things that I can look at that will help me understand and pivot to their personality type. Now, the last thing, this will help a lot of you when going door to door. The skill set that you're going to want to learn is the ability to pull down what is called buying pressure. Because you're in person, there's a tendency that buying pressure, the anxiety that that homeowner feels with you at their doorstep, because let's be honest, not a lot of people go door to door, especially in real estate. They're going to feel this anxiety that you're trying to get them to make a transaction or purchase something on the spot. So you have to get really good at, it's called pulling down that buying pressure. Being able to interact with someone at their door, and whether they're mad, angry, anxious, they don't have a lot of time, whatever the situation is, you need to be able to pull down that buying pressure. And you can do that with your body language. You can throw your hands up and kind of wave that white flag. You can step back because that's going to show, hey, I'm non-threatening. It could be with your smile and how you hold yourself. But that number 4 will really, really hurt or help a lot of you, is that ability to, it's called heat checking. You watch the customer and you can tell whether or not they're feeling pressured, they're anxious, they're wanting to buy, they're not wanting to buy, they feel threatened by you. You need to be able to sense that. And once you sense it, you need to be able to pull down that buying pressure. So now when we talk about skills, in my opinion, from all the experience I have in real estate and going door to door nationwide, these are going to be the 4 skills. There's obviously a ton more. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book. Making people your friend immediately. There's a great book called The Speed of Trust. There's The Code of Trust and how to gain that trust really quick. Phenomenal books. You need to learn how to listen, how to be likable. Totally get it. There's a long list of skills, but these are going to be your main ones that you're trying to develop. So go buy the books, go to the seminar, watch the YouTube videos, get really, really good at that. But again, just like we talked about earlier, none of that matters because a majority of you are going to struggle with this. this is going to be your issue. So I would spend a lot of your time on this. If this equation is true, if it's really 80-20, most realtors that I coach or work with, 80% of their schedule doesn't show me that this is being taken care of. They don't have a morning routine for their mental health. They don't have a routine for prospecting to make sure they're in a peak state. They don't have any type of routine to guarantee that they can be consistent and stay focused. When they're out prospecting, they're answering emails or helping with clients or taking phone calls. They don't have anything that will help them with being focused. So they get distracted and they don't prospect. So if you can have your schedule reflect that 80%, and you can make sure that for 45 minutes to an hour a day, you're studying those specific sales skills that you need, that's the magic formula that'll help you blow up your real estate business. I'm hoping that today's lesson on sales skills was beneficial. You now know what to go study, what to go focus on, so that you can have consistent growth in your real estate business. This is the whole reason that I set up this entire YouTube page, this entire environment, this type of classroom setting, so that you know exactly what you need to do to go blow up your business. Cool. What'd you guys think? That was super fun. Excited to kind of change this content up. That way it's easier for you to understand, easier for you to go apply. I want you to be able to come into this channel, pick up a couple nuggets and go apply them immediately and see instant changes in your business. So let me ask you real quick before you leave, what did you learn today? If I were to ask you, what was the percentage split of understanding the mindset side versus the skill set side? What is that? Do you remember what that percentage is? And then what are you going to go focus on in order for you to be consistent and focused over time so you can close more prospects, help more families transact in the real estate business? What did you learn? What was your takeaway? I get calls all the time off of here on YouTube, Instagram, people all over the world that are wanting to join our program. And honestly, my interview process, the questions I ask to qualify are simply more so, are you disciplined? Are you focused? Do you have habits? Do you have rituals in place? Or am I going to have to spend all my time in this program teaching you this, and we're never going to get to the actual skills? The best people that do really, really well going door to door or in real estate or in sales, whatever it is, are the ones that are athletes. They're teachers. They're disciplined. They're hard workers. They're farmers. The ones that already have those principles in place, those are the ones that do really well. Now, that doesn't mean if you don't have those, we can't teach you. We will, and we'll teach you. And we have all the systems and processes like you're seeing here on YouTube to train you to develop those discipline, those routines, those habits that you need. We'll train you on that. But if you're watching this and you already have it, then now we need to teach you on the sales side, the skills, the listening, the body language, that stuff, and we can help you close more deals. But this episode was mainly to show you there's a split, and it's not even. It's not a 50-50. It's 80-20. Hopefully today was beneficial. If you guys found value in this, like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so that when these episodes do come out, you can hop on here, grab a notebook, grab a pen, and take a ton of notes and go blow up your business. We'll catch you next time.